This is partly true, partly inflamed a little bit. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. But this is a story. Sisters at War. The battle that changed everything. So a little backstory. We have two sisters. They're about 9 years apart. You got one sister that's, she's the oldest. She's going through life 9 years. All she's had is her mom, all to herself. Mom gets pregnant, finally brings this baby home. She's got a little sister. And how are most sisters excited? Oh, I've got a baby here. I'll get a chance to, teach her everything. Mom, can I change her diaper? Can I feed her? Can I clean her face? And mom is excited to have her older daughter interact with her baby sister because that's what big sisters do. Time goes on, fast forward. The 9-year-old older sister realizes that the things that she's doing, mom isn't paying attention to too much because her attention is going to this baby. This baby is sickly now. She's coughing, crying. Mom is patting her, pacing back and forth. So imagine this set is in Brooklyn, New York, right? It's in the wintertime. And mom is pacing back and forth with this baby, and she's got her, and she's patting her back, and she's walking back and forth, and the 9-year-old sister is just watching. She's got her paper. Here, Mom. Look what I drew. Mom says, that's a cute picture, but baby is sick. I have to take her to the hospital. So she has her sister. Mom has her sister come by, takes care of the 9-year-old. Mom takes the little baby to the hospital. Mom comes home without the baby. The baby is so sick that she can't come back home. So now it's mom and the 9-year-old. But mom is worried. She's crying. She's not able to focus. And she's got her 9-year-old. The 9-year-old has to go to school, things like that. Mom has to work and also go to the hospital. So mom goes ahead and she drops her 9-year-old off at school. She goes ahead and stops by the hospital on her way to work to check on her baby. Baby is still hooked up to IVs, and she's got feeding tubes, high fever. She's got cool compresses, things like that. Mom is worried. She calls off work. I can't leave. I can't leave my baby. I have to stay here. So mom stays there. She calls her sister, hey, can you pick so-and-so up from work, up from school, because I'm here at the hospital and I can't leave. So after about 2-3 days, mom is at the hospital. Her older sister is taking care of her 9-year-old. The doctors and nurses said, look, there's nothing more you can do. We've got everything under control. Why don't you go ahead, go home, get you something to eat, take a shower, get some rest, kind of like free your mind a little bit, take a breather. We'll give you a call if anything changes. So it's hard for her to be pulled away from her little baby. She's so little hands, little toes. So she goes ahead and she leaves against her better judgment. Mom didn't know after midnight the baby's heart stops. And so they called the code. They're doing CPR. They're doing respirations. And the doctor gets ready to call the death because he's saying, we've been working on this baby. We're going to go. There's nothing more that we can do. But one nurse decides that she's going to keep working on this baby. She can't stand to see a little baby. She's got her whole life ahead of her. Can't stand to see this baby die. And then plus the mom, I cannot imagine having to call this mom and letting her know that her child died. So she keeps doing CPR, and lo and behold, they get a very, very faint pulse. So come on, they're pushing meds, they're pushing fluids, and they're doing CPR. Watch, pulse gets a little bit stronger. Heart rate is a little bit more regular than it was previous. And so boom, they decide, okay, we're already in ICU, we're in NICU, there's nowhere else we can go, so we'll just continue to monitor the baby. They didn't call the mom to let her know what had happened because why call her in the middle of the night and interrupt her? We'll just go ahead and we're going to let her sleep and we'll see her when she comes in, or call her in the morning, during more reasonable hours. So the night goes on, the baby is stable. Mom does come in first thing right after change of shift, and one nurse, the morning nurse, lets her know what happened throughout the night. We almost lost her. It was touch and go, but we got her stable and she's resting comfortably. I just wanted to go ahead and give you a heads up because she has more tubes than she had when you saw her last night, and I just wanted to let you know that that was why, because it's pretty critical, but she's stable and she's comfortable. So they bring mom in so she can see the baby, and she's got all these extra tubes. Mom can't hold her because she's so fragile. 2-3 days go by, baby is stable, no change, no worse, but no better. A week goes by. There's a glimmer of hope. The baby has improved a little bit, and guess what? She's able to have some of her IV fluids reduced. Her kidney function is doing great. Her lungs are developing. Her fever is subsiding, so much so that now it's been 12 hours where they don't have to give any medications because her fever has not spiked again. It hasn't gone up over 100, so we're good now. A couple of days go by. Her fever has completely subsided. Now she's back to a normal body temperature, 98.6. Everything's good. So we're going ahead and we're getting ready to remove her feeding tube. We're going to start introducing little bits of food. Just buy a dropper, just a little bit, just to kind of start working her stomach again. Baby progresses. Everything's fine. She's stable. She is able to eat a few ounces. Everything's okay. Bowel movements. She's urinating. She's having bowel movements. Fine. Baby comes home. The big sister is surprised to see that the little baby is come home. And I will tell you, the sister is not so happy. She enjoyed being at home with her mom by herself. But at the same time, mom hasn't been able to spend too much time with her because of this baby. So the sister knows enough to pretend that she is okay with this baby coming home. Everything's fine. No more doctor's visits, no more ER visits, no emergencies. The child starts to grow up, and now as it is, we have the baby is 2 and the sister is almost 12. The sister is a big sister and she's trying to, help guide her little sister, but she's still not happy because her life was perfect before mom decided to bring this baby home. And then the baby left, and then mom ended up bringing her back home after about a month or so, it being in the hospital. And I thought it was just going to be me and mommy, but now I see that this baby apparently is not going anywhere. Now she's learning how to walk. She's biting on everything. She's taking my dolls and things like that. So I think this little sister is here to stay. So time goes by. The little girl is 5 now, and the sister is almost 15. She's going through high school. Mom is working, and now, guess who has to be a babysitter? The big sister. So she's okay, but she's still mean. She plucks the sister in between her eyes and things like that. But still, the little sister doesn't say anything because that's my big sister, and I don't want to get her in trouble. So she just goes about, doesn't let mom know that her older sister is being mean to her. The little sister grows up, and now it's a few years later. And so now the little girl is 8. Big sister is about to be 18, getting ready to graduate from high school. And she decides, you know what, it's time for me to leave the nest. So she goes ahead and she gets married so that she can leave and be on her own. Now it's just the little girl and her mom at home, and her sister has moved out. And the little sister loves her big sister. So, as often as she can, Mommy, can I go by and see big sis? Can I go by and see big sis? Because guess what? Big sis now has a baby growing in her belly. Mom says, it's okay. We'll go by there together. We'll go together. So they go by there, and the little sister is able to see the little baby. and to learn how to change her diaper and feed her. And she's a good, auntie, because that's exactly what she is. This is her sister that has a baby, so now she's an auntie. So, oh yeah, she's helping to change the diaper and she's helping to feed, things like that, kind of like watching the baby. So if sister needs to go ahead and take a shower, she's got her little sister there that's actually there watching the baby. But the big sister is wondering, and she's remembering how mean she was to her little sister, and she's wondering, is my sister going to do something to my baby now? Because I remember all of the grief I gave her when the tables were turned. But nope, little sister is a good auntie, taking care of that baby with no problems at all. Fast forward, big sister gets pregnant again. So now she has two. She has a boy and she has a girl. And now here it is. The little sister is now getting ready to go to high school herself. She's 15. She's 15. Big sis is 25.